The first thing we're going to do is select content, right click in your content browser, and we're going to create a new folder. We're going to name this AI. So if we go into our third person blueprint, blueprints, right click on our third person character, and we're going to duplicate this. This is going to be our AI character. So I'm just going to name mine AI again. Select this and drag it into your AI folder and select move here. So we've got our AI character sorted. The next thing we're going to do is create a AI controller. So if we right click, go to blueprint class, and in here we're going to search AI controller. So select this and press select. I'm going to name this AI underscore control. So we're going to right click again in our content browser, go to artificial intelligence. I'm going to create a behavior tree. I'm going to name mine AI underscore BT. And finally, I'm going to right click one more time, go to artificial intelligence and select blackboard. And I'm going to name it AI BB. So what we need to do now, if we go to our AI character, delete these blueprints, delete the follow camera and camera boom, we don't need them. Select this at the top, go to details on the right, down to pawn, down to AI controller class, and we need to select the AI controller we just made. So mine's AI control. Compile and save. So now if we go to our AI controller, go to the event graph, delete event tick just to make some space. Then off of event begin play, we need to run our behavior tree. And then on this drop down menu here, select the behavior tree you made. And then compile and save that. That's that done. So now we need to create an actor blueprint. So if we right click, go to blueprint class, select actor. I'm going to name mine location. And this actor blueprint is going to represent where we want our AI to return to. So I'm going to move mine here. So my AI, after chasing us, should return to this location. So what we need to do now is go into our AI behavior tree. To navigate this, it's just the mouse wheel to zoom in and out, and right click and hold to move around. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to blackboard. I'm going to create a new key. This is going to be a vector. I'm going to name this location and save. So that's that done. Then we're going to go to behavior tree and left click and drag off the root. We're going to create a selector. And then off selector, we're going to create a sequence. So now we need to create a new task. So if we go to new task and select PT task blueprint base. So we just minimize this. You can see our task here. I'm just going to rename it, and it's going to be find location. As this is going to tell our AI to find our location, our actor. So if we double click on this, I'm going to right click and I'm going to search for event, receive, execute AI. I'm going to right click again and search for finish, execute. So for the exec of our event, receive, execute AI, we're going to search for get actor of class. And then the drop down menu here, we're going to search for our actor, our location. And then off the return value, we're going to search for get actor location. So now we need to create a variable. So if we go to variable here, and create a new variable, we're going to name this vector. And then over in the details panel, on the variable type, we're going to search for blackboard key selector. I'm going to make this instance editable. So if we left click and drag our variable in, and get vector, we're going to set our blackboard value as vector. Move these around. So attach the return value of get actor location to value, and then hook all the XX up. And then check success. So we compile and save that. Go back into our behavior tree. I do it by minimizing the window. And then off sequence, we can search for our task. So find location. You're going to make sure in the details panel that your vector, the variable you created, is your blackboard key. So if I select this, you can see mine's my blackboard key here. So we want it to find the location, and then we want our AI to move to it. So we can just left click and drag off the sequence and search for move to. And then again, you want to make sure that the blackboard key here is your location, your key you made in your blackboard. So if we save that, we want to create a nav mesh so our character knows where it can navigate around your level. So if I search in the place actors up here in the top left, search for nav mesh, and you want nav mesh bounds volume. Just increase this. If you press P on your keyboard, you can see where your AI can navigate. So that should be alright. So if I click play now and test it, you can see my AI moves to where I place my location. So I can move this, say over here, play, the AI will move there. So now we can make our AI chase our player. So if we go back into our behavior tree, Alt and left click just to detach our find location, just move it out of the way. We need to left click and drag, and we need to make another sequence. So now we need to make another task, so we go up to new task and create another task. Remember to rename it so we know which one's which. So find player, this is what's going to make our AI find our player. So if we double click on this task, right click, I'm going to search for event, receive, execute AI. And then right click, I'm going to search for finish, execute. So if you right click again, we need to search for get player character. We need to get this player's location, so get actor location. And now we need to make another variable. So if you go to variables, create another variable, we're going to name this vector again. Make it instance editable. You can do that by selecting this I here, or you can check it in the details panel here. So we need to change the variable type. I'm going to search for blackboard key selector again, and that's that variable done. So if we left click and drag it in, and get vector, drag off the vector, the variable, sorry, and search for set blackboard value as vector. So we hook up the return value of get actor location to the set blackboard value as vector, and then just hook these up here and check success. So compile and save that. Go back into our behavior tree, and then left click and drag off our sequence. We want to search for our find player, and then off of sequence again, move to, and make sure your vector, your variable, is the location, our blackboard key, and the same with move to, needs to be our blackboard key location as well. So if we save this, so if we now go in our AI controller, add a component, we want to add AI perception. So we select our AI perception, go into details on the right, down to AI perception, sensors config, and click the plus button. I'm going to go to this drop down menu and add in AI site config, and drop this down, and drop this down as well. Go to detection by affiliation and drop it down. We're going to select detect neutrals and detect friendlies. You now want to go into the third person character blueprint, add a component, and you want AI perception stimuli source. Then go into your details, go down to AI perception, check auto register as source, add an array element, and you want it to be AI sense site, and compile and save that. And test it. You can see our character's moving to us, but it's not very accurate. So we need to make another task for this, so the character moves to our player more accurately. So if we escape, go back into our behavior tree, select move to, I'll just delete it. We'll need to create a new task. Remember to name it. So move to player. Double click on move to player, so it brings us up into the event graph. We need to right click, search for event, receive, execute AI again. And right click again and finish execute. So this one's pretty simple. So of event receive execute AI, we need to search for simple move to location. And then let's hook that up here to finish execute. We need to create another variable. Name is vector again. Make it instance editable. And change the variable type to blackboard key selector again. Drag your variable in, and get vector. And then all we need to do is search off of our vector, left click and drag off, and search for get blackboard value as vector. And then let's hook that up to goal, and then hook up owner controller to controller on your simple move to location. And remember, check success. So compile and save. Go back into your behavior tree. I'm going to search for our move to player. So make sure your vector, your variable here is your location and is your blackboard key. So if we save, it should find our player and then move to it. So now you can see it's moving more accurately towards us. But still needs a little bit of work. So now we need to fix our AI's rotation and the fact that it keeps bumping into our character. But as well, you'll notice that when the AI goes behind us, the camera zooms in. We can fix that as well. So we'll start with the AI's rotation. So if we go back into our AI behavior tree, select our sequence, right click on it, and we need to add a decorator, and I'm going to choose cooldown. So now if we select our cooldown, I'm going to change the cooldown time in the details panel on the right to 0.2. You'll save that. And if we go into our AI character blueprint, go to character movement, go to details on the right, scroll down to rotation settings. We're going to change the rotation setting to use controller desired rotation and unchecked orient rotation to movement, and change the rotation rate on the z-axis to 250. Compile and save that. And finally, to stop the camera zooming in on our character when the AI goes behind us, go to our third person blueprint, double click on blueprints, go into our third person character, select your camera boom in the components on the left, go to details on the right, down to camera collision, and change probe channel from camera to visibility. So compile and save, we'll see, click play, that our NPC, our AI, hangs back a bit and our camera isn't zooming in. So if we go back into our behavior tree, we need to get these two to work with each other. So when the AI isn't chasing the player, it's returning back to our specific location. So if we hook the sequence up to selector here, we can get these two to work with each other using a boolean. So if we go to blackboard on the top right, create another key. We want it to be a bool. So I'm going to name mine chasing player. That's done. So if we save, go back into our behavior tree, select our sequence on the left, right click on it, and we want to add a decorator, and I want to add blackboard. So if we select this, go into details on the right, we want it to be is not set, so it isn't true, and we want to choose the blackboard key, and it's our chasing player. So when chasing player isn't true, it will return back to its location. So in description, we can change this node name so we know what's happening clearer. So I'm going to name mine cannot chase player. So we want to do the same on the right. So select our sequence on the right, right click, add decorator, blackboard, select it, go to details on the right again. We want it to be is set and the blackboard key chasing player, and we'll rename it again can chase player. So that's that done. So if we save, so if you go into your AI control blueprint, select AI perception, I'm going to go into details, scroll down to events, and we want on target perception updated. So off the exec, search for cast a third person character, attach actor to object, left click, drag off stimulus, and select break AI stimulus. So now if you right click, you want to search for get blackboard. You want this one. Off of the return value, left click and drag off. You want to search for set value as bool. So this one at the top here. If you can hear that, that's my dog scratching. So sorry about that. So if you want to cast a third person, you want to off the exec, off cast a third person, attach it to set value as bool, and then off of successfully sensed, left click and attach it to bool value. If you double click on the sort of the connection here, you can add an extra node that you can drag and pull down. So off of key name, left click and drag off, you want to search for make literal name, and you want to copy and paste the name of your boolean that you made in your blackboard here. So go back into it. If you go into your blackboard, copy and paste the name, and just paste it here. So that's that sorted. So compile and save. So as you can see, the AI character isn't chasing us when it's returning back to its location. It only chases us when it reaches its location. So we can fix this by going back into our behavior tree, selecting our decorator, going up to details on the right, down to observer reports, and check both. Save. So now if you test it, it'll chase us when returning to its location. So as you can see, the AI runs back to the location what I want is it to walk back to the location, and then when it sees us, it runs after us. So we can do this if we go into our AI controller. We need to make a reference to our AI character. So we can do this by we cast to our AI character. Off of object, we want to search for get controlled pawn here, get controlled pawn. And if we right click here on the object reference, we want to promote it to a variable. I'm going to name mine just AI. Compile and save. Escape. So if we go back into our behavior tree, we want to create a service here. So create a new service. Select this. Remember to name all these. So I'm going to name mine AI speed. Double click on it. Right click, search for event, receive activation. And after the exec, you're going to cast your AI controller. So mine's named AI control. Attach object to owner actor. Off of here, you want to search for your reference to your AI character. So mine named mine AI. So get AI. And off of your reference, you're going to search for get character movement. So off of character movement, you're going to set your max walk speed. Attach this here. So we need to create another variable. I'm going to name mine speed. Make it instance editable. Go to the details panel and change the variable type to float. So you're going to drag your variable in, get speed, and attach it here to your max walk speed. So compile and save. Go back into your AI behavior tree. Well, now we can add the service onto these sequences. So if we go to the one on the left, when it's returning back to its location, you're going to right click on it, add service, and then add your service, and mine's the AI speed. Select your speed, go to details on the right, down to default, and we can set the speed here. So I'm going to change mine to 150, so it's walking back to its location. We can do the same for when it's chasing after the player. So select your sequence, right click, you're going to add service, again add your AI speed, select it, back into details on the right, down to default, and change the speed back to 600 so it's running. So if we save, we'll test it, it's walking back, when it sees us it runs.